Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to Star Trek Resignation. That's the name of this podcast, and we fooled around with all these subtitles and everything, but let's just keep it at that, because we could do, it's a disco home companion, but we're also talking about Picard. Welcome to Can't Picardly Wait for Discovery Home Companion to end. Or Star Trek Resignation. Solid. Hey. But that shit ended weeks ago, so what are we talking about? Hey, it's been a few. My name, if you need to remember, what's my name? Wade Bowen is my name, and with me, as is the case with this podcast now, is Glenn Hall.
Hello.
And Sean Parada.
Oh my God, you just stepped on my intro.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I know you didn't do it on purpose. What'd you say? I'm Sean.
And
they all
Sean
know me because
Parada.
they hate me. It's fine.
Yeah, they don't really.
No, I mean,
the heel of the pod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, as is always the case on this podcast. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. There's other podcasts that I do with other guys. You may have know who those guys are,
and they're here too. No, they're not.
No, they're not. Not
That's
right
a crowded house.
Yeah, unless they're lurking on the Discord, they have access to this channel. But no, they don't. Yeah. Anyways, we're talking about these new Trek shows, right? Aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah, we gave up on doing every episode of Star Trek Discovery because I want to enjoy some of us don't. Life. Some of us don't enjoy the show very much, and also it's just a drag. And I don't think there's a podcast audience that wants to listen to a podcast for every episode of Star Trek Discovery. They watch Red Letter Media for that, or else they actually like the show and listen to podcasts that like it and want to talk about it. I don't know. If I liked the show,
if I liked it, I'd probably want to listen to Paul F. Tompkins talk about it. But if I was me and I hated it, I definitely would not do that.
No. See, I don't even hate it anymore. Because we got two things to talk about here. We got the last half and finale of not a Discovery, of Star Trek Discovery, and then also this season 2 of this Picard show showed up, right?
Mm-hmm. So is all of season 2 of Picard?
No. It's only
okay. They're like halfway.
It's like halfway, a little over halfway, maybe.
Yeah, I think.
So what you haven't?
Yeah, be like the mid-season.
Okay.
Are you not caught up, Sean? What? No.
Yeah, no, I don't watch these Star Trek shows anymore.
Yeah, You're here as the control group, and then Glenn is committed to watching all of these out of some sick commitment to math, and I'm just watching it out of a morbid curiosity and habit, and I've been doing these podcasts long enough.
I mean, in my defense, I wouldn't go as far to say that I'm a true believer, but like, I do like Star Trek. I like what, Star Trek is, kind of, I was going to say supposed to be, but that's a very loaded description. So I'd say more like what, kind of Star Trek can be at its best, in my view.
Sounds like virtue signaling to me.
No.
Well, I mean, that's what Star Trek is.
Yeah, it is. I know. Yeah, it's and you know what?
Way,
virtue signaling isn't bad.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Like, we've had this whole argument about the works about Donald Glover. I don't think being pretentious is necessarily bad if you're not an elite. But
all right,
can we just do a podcast about Atlanta, because that show is great.
That show's great, and I think there's not enough white dudes talking about Atlanta on podcasts out there.
Yeah, so. You don't think so? Okay,
let's start right now. Certainly, The Ringer doesn't have that covered.
Well, yeah. Fuck The Ringer. You know what? I'm gonna say I said it.
Yeah,
I'm calling them out. They can come after me.
Oh boy, we're never gonna get that podcast deal now.
Well, the Ringer compromised itself when the people that did The Ringer started writing for television, and so they were scared to call shit out. Like one of the Ringer guys worked on Watchmen, right? I think.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, I don't know, something.
Yeah, and so I mean, yeah, we're not compromised. I will be compromised in a second if somebody wants to hire me to write on a show that I haven't submitted to or done anything for.
I am.
Sure.
Glenn's favorite new term. I am tech avail. So
right, but but fuck the Ringer. Anyway, oh man, all right, but hey, let's get back on track.
Fuck the Ringer, boy, oh boy. I know this is my fault, but still, and somehow Wade and I definitely have like never discussed the Ringer with each other, and yet I knew he was gonna have a problem with them.
I think they've had some good content in the past. But
I do too.
You know what? I don't.
Yeah, no,
I think they're compromised.
Yeah, they're like just a fan cast now. That's like all they do is just like, oh, look at this thing that's so great. It's like,
well, I mean that's the problem with most TV podcasts, honestly. But not this one.
Not, right. I was gonna say, not enough podcasts display open contempt for the thing they're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So I'm gonna drop a bomb right now, and then we'll go from there. This is keeping us on track. I really liked one of these.
Me too. That's what. I think I know which.
When you
right, sorry.
Yes.
All I watched the finale of Disco and the premiere of Picard.
Got it.
Yes.
So I watched 2 episodes of Star Trek since the last time we talked. So it is literally
And you know what? I know exactly what you're talking about. The audience doesn't yet, but I know. But I also feel the same way, and I know that Glenn did not. And I thought this whole podcast for a while could just be, I'm going to defend this show, and Glenn can talk shit about it. Tell me why I'm wrong. Right. And part of it is a reversal that.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull the rug out. That Disco finale was a good finale of Star Trek.
That was a good finale.
It wasn't it?
From what I've seen of Star Trek, I also just thought it was a good episode of television.
Right? I know. Part of me is like, I have to catch myself. Am I just doing this to be contrarian? Because I've been shitting on this show for like 3 or 4 years now. But no, I thought it was done well. And it's what I wanted the show to do. It's what I wanted a Star Trek finale to do. It did shit that like Star Trek hasn't done, but it did it in a way that made me happy with the way they did it.
I think they really toned down a lot of like the drama club bullshit. I think it was in there. It was because it's always going to be there. Oh. It's the bones of the show. The show's built on.
Bones of the show are terrible.
Yeah, sure, but this episode wasn't. This was
it
not.
Wasn't that the epilogue had me fucking cackling though.
Yeah, no, that was brutal. That was truly. No. The episode ended when I don't know, whatever like the last moment before the epilogue was.
The last 20 minutes gave me the most. You know what? I'll say this about it. Another positive thing. It gave me the most joy I've had watching this show and ever watching Star Trek Discovery. And then that I liked the finale, and then that epilogue happened, and I was just laughing so hard because it was oh my god, I
can't even remember.
It was just too much.
What the epilogue was? Can you remind me?
Oh, it's when they fucking wheeled out Stacey Abrams.
Oh my god,
as president of Earth.
Stacey Abrams as the president of United Earth.
Oh my god,
and I couldn't stop laughing.
I mean, look, let's be clear. That's incredible. Yeah. It's so bad. It's like so.
It was
like,
so bad.
Okay, so it's so. It's so cringy. It's so brutal.
I mentioned this on the Discord.
It's everything I talked about, the squeakcore thing that we got into.
1,000. That moment, I said out loud, oh, I understand squeakcore. Okay.
Well, hold on. So this is, I mentioned this without like actually saying what it was on the Discord, where I said something on the show simultaneously infuriated and elated. I was elated and infuriated at the same time about something happened, and it was actually that I was referring to, because on one hand, yes, it's cringe and all that stuff, but like I was also very happy. I was very happy that Stacey Abrams got to be on a Star Trek show, and I was completely distraught that this was.
I love that Stacey Abrams loves Star Trek, but fuck you, show. Like, so on the nose.
To be on Star Trek as the president of United Earth. She's like, no, like, it's not good enough that I will one day be president of the United States. I'm going to be president of Earth.
Right.
I hope
I mean, right. And she won't. I mean, I'd love her to be president someday. She's not going to be president of the United States. It's not going to happen. But the show, and just like in such a like meta look at us, the writers who love Stacey Abrams, like
it's so
like
funny.
Anointing her as president. Like it was just like, and it just everything about it. I was like, oh my fucking.
It probably is quite endemic. Or indicative, rather, of the show and its general approach to things of, like, taking something that, again, should have been just objectively delightful and fun and, like, yay. And again, I just want to reiterate, like, I was excited when I saw that it was her. I was very happy that I was like, oh, this is great. Stacey
I lost my mind.
It was wild.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
You knew it was
still
coming.
Lost. But Joni didn't, and I was like, "Oh, there's some stunt casting coming up. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but." Ooh, and she was like, "I'm so
bummed I watched it at work. I'm so sad I didn't watch it at home. I would have called Nikki into the room. She would have been like, "What the fuck is this?"
But it's just like, it should have been a much different context. Should have been on a different show, and I'm glad it happened. And like this is why
I'm not. I mean, well, I'm glad it happened because it was so hilarious to me, and just so fucking dumb, and so sad in a way for the right. I don't know, man. It was like, just what are you doing? You had to. It was so cringe and like just virtue signaling and like look at us. Oh, representation. Look at. Oh man, it was. I don't know. Everything is the most squee of things, and you know, I'm not. I don't mean to use that. As a pejorative,
the only thing that would have been more squee would have been Fauci. Like that's.
Yeah, Fauci. That would have been that would have been rough. Oh.
Literally, like the only way it could be worse if they got Fauci in there.
If Dr. Anthony Fauci walked out of a spaceship.
You know who he could play? He could play Cronenberg's brother. They actually look alike.
Yeah.
But
I could have seen that.
I'm just imagining that same
come out and he'd say. Hey,
don't
Tony,
don't do it. Don't do the accent.
Put a mask on. He'd say, "Put a mask on," and then they'd wink at the camera.
And that's kind of what I was gonna get at. Is like, imagine if it's the exact same scene with the exact same framing and cinematography, and the door opens. It's Anthony Fauci, and it's revealed that it is in universe Anthony Fauci himself. Like
he walks up to Michael and puts his elbow out like they're gonna bump elbows like
oh my god,
like we did for a while.
I hate that you're right that is absolutely like there's a universe where that happened.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And Stacey Abrams is somehow more grounded than that.
Right.
Well, look, again, I genuinely, I will stand firm that, like, you know, Stacey Abrams being on Star Trek is an objective good thing.
That's cool. It's great.
It's fine.
The execution was insane.
Exactly.
It was so
and that is why I was elated and infuriated.
It's deranged. It's a deranged.
I think
choice.
She has no place being on Star Trek because there's no way to do it except for stunt casting. So no, I don't think it's great that she is on there.
So you don't go in for stunt casting on Star Trek. You don't buy it.
No, it's like it's the same way. Like in season 1, they like talked about how fucking Elon Musk was a pioneer of space travel. It's the same kind of shit. I mean, it's like don't do.
But you
don't do
that
shit.
And I hate it.
Don't do that shit. That's where
Mike Drucker,
Elon Musk, owner of Twitter, is
yeah, right.
Not yet.
It's coming.
Mike Drucker, a friend of a former show of ours, has a great tweet where, like, you know, all of these...
He's got better credits than that, but those are the most important.
I just
Mike Drucker, very successful man, humbled by Glenn to
No, I was saying that to, like,
appeared once to an empty room on No Feelings Presents.
No, it wasn't No Feelings
the show
Presents.
that we did in Queens.
It was QED&D. It was QED&D.
Oh,
it
sorry.
Feelings.
Oh, no, sorry.
And the room was...
Sorry, Sean. You weren't a part of this show.
We had him on No Feelings, didn't we?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
We got
him to... Glenn got him to do the D&D show, but I don't think he ever did the variety show.
Oh, Nikki's friend Christine just had a baby.
Hey, Mazel.
Good for her.
Yeah, very exciting. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Mike Drucker. What? Tell me, reference that Mike Drucker made.
No, just he has a great tweet about how, like, you know, all these sci-fi, like, futuristic stuff have, like, you know, all the great pioneers, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, and Bleak Blorp the blah blah blah. Like, there's always, like, you know, and Disco, like, literally did that. Right.
Well, I wish Star Trek did more Gleep Glorps, actually, because then it's always, because it's like 400, 500, however far in the future it is, and they always talk about Mozart, and they never talk about anybody past the 20th century.
Right.
And like, there should be.
To be fair, they talk a fair amount about.
They do that a few times. They have, and I applaud them when they do. So, more Gleep Glorps, that's all I'm saying, and less Elon Musk.
Yeah, right.
But
like, they talk about Picard a lot, or not a lot, but like they mention, like, Picard, the man, and, like, the Picard era a few times.
Well, of course they do Picard, but yeah, that's also kind of
right. Picard's not a Gleep Corp.
No.
He's a guy he's Patrick Stewart from these shows that we've watched for our whole childhoods and adulthoods. So yeah. Hey, but the rest of that finale was good.
Yeah, really fucking good.
They did aliens that weren't people with shit on their faces.
Cool aliens.
It was the aliens. It was a little bit Arrival. They watched Arrival. It was a little bit Arrival. I'll give that's a little ding I gave it, but the aliens learning to communicate. That's what Star Trek. It wasn't a pew pew space battle.
Yep.
It was learning to communicate, which is what Star Trek's good. When it's good, it's like about humanism and learning to relate to things and all that shit. And,
on paper, you are absolutely correct, but God, I can't get into it.
It was well done, Glenn. It was,
Yeah, G. I think this is your. I think you're unable to dismiss your preconceptions. I think you're
maybe you're
your
right.
hatred
Look,
of
I'm
the rest of it in.
I'm willing to,
and it's fair to be damaged.
Absolutely.
They already hurt you too much. I get it, man. I understand. Because there's a little bit of, but yeah, even they cut to Tilly doing her thing, and it was like, oh, remember she's still technically got credits on the show, even though she left. But like they're just trying to save people. Her and
the Admiral,
and it's like
that was great.
It was well done.
Like, genuinely touching, not like fucking corny, not cheesy. Like, of course she stayed and she didn't make like a big speech out of it. She's just like, nah, like, I'm gonna stay. He's like, okay, great. Like, let's fucking save people then. There were some jokes that were very bad and some jokes that I chuckled at, and that's all I need. That's it.
Yeah.
I can't remember any.
It was well done. I watched this weeks ago and I didn't rewatch it because I had Picard to watch.
Yeah, I watched this like 9 hours ago, and I still, I mean, right, without having seen any of the back half of the season, I couldn't really tell you what happened. Okay, so hold on, what? So
yeah, okay, recap Picard for what you saw of it.
Picard?
We got. Oh no, are we? No, we can do the. Sorry, if we're not there yet, keep talking about.
So yeah, I mean, just go real quick, right? Like, so they're stuck. The Discovery's stuck in a bubble, and Book and the white guy and Tig are going to Tig's presence.
That's the thing. Discovery's good when they have Tig on.
Yeah, Discovery's good when they have Tig.
Tig is the beard of Star Trek Discovery. Glenn gets that joke. You might not,
Yeah,
Sean.
Sean, I think you're interpreting it differently, but it's.
I mean, I look good with a beard, so that's why I
when
like
Riker gets a beard, TNG gets better, and when Cisco gets a beard, DS9 gets good.
Oh, there you go.
It's a thing for the nerds.
When Kate Mulgrew's hair changes, Voyager pretty much stays the same.
Well, I don't know about that. Yeah, but there's no beards on that show. But
yeah, weirdly for a show that's about like people kind of like stranded.
And the show never really gets great. It has its moments, but it's no
beards.
That's
the problem.
Yeah. And we won't talk about Enterprise because, well, I don't know if we have a status report or anything, but I got an asterisk review at the end of this episode.
We're not trying to rent a car, so we're not going to talk about Enterprise.
Mm-hmm. Boy.
Enterprise rent a car.
No,
so
Glenn knows what I'm about to.
They're stuck in a bubble. No, shut up. They're in a bubble, and then they get out of the bubble by burning out the spore drive. The general goes and crashes her ship into Book's ship, which knocks them off course, and then they beam them back, and everything's good. They arrive, will talk to the aliens. All right, they couldn't beam Book back, and they're like, Book's dead, no. And then the aliens, this is what I was going to say before. The aliens, they're like, oh, here, you dropped this, and we thought it might be important, so we kept it. It's Book.
I did hate that. When they killed Book,
it's the human man, Book.
Yeah, I was a little bummed when they actually didn't. It's like, for a second, because they did a good job with the emotional, we killed this guy.
Yeah, I would have liked it if he stayed dead.
And when they brought him back, I was a little bit, fuck you, Discovery. You should have let the guy die, because then it would have meant something, and now it doesn't. You can't kill anybody. We should learn that. And
the whole the whole thing is Michael. Right, that was sort of what we were doing this season. She can't save everybody. She can't. If being a captain means making the hard choices. It doesn't seem like it does.
Yeah, that was a little bit fuck you show. That was before the ridiculous epilogue. That was, I gotta ding it for that. They should have let Book stay dead. Bringing him back was
it was cowardly. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And kill that general lady too. I didn't care about her, but
she sucked.
Enjoy it.
That's her her redemption. Right?
Right. Yeah, she
fucked
knew
up,
what she was
so
willing.
She goes and she was consigning herself to. So fucking let her die. What a dumb person to have survived.
They killed the Ryson Riddler, ultra smart prick guy.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, the bad guy. Sure.
Yeah.
Until he wasn't, bad anymore.
Right.
Right. Well, I mean, and it's good that they make the bad guys not truly bad guys.
Yeah.
And, but man, come on. Yeah. Of course they're gonna kill that guy.
Yeah, easy to kill him.
Yeah, but they're too attached to their you got to kill your darlings, and your darlings named Book for some dumbass reason. Yeah,
you named this idiot Book. Put him out of his misery.
Yeah, Booker
And I gotta tell you, fucking everyone on this show is gay. So you gotta find a straight to kill, and Book is one of the two. I think.
You know what?
So
yeah.
If you can wipe him out, you gotta wipe him out, because boy oh boy, everybody's gay or interracial, and it's great. I love it. It's the future, but it makes it hard to kill them all.
Right? Because then you're, yeah.
For a split second, I was like, maybe Tilly dies on this space station.
I thought they might actually do her in it.
Yeah, it's she's
leaving.
Yeah.
Right. She's taking a backseat to the, at least only be a recurring. But yeah, I thought maybe
she was so annoying.
Yeah, but it's just fucking killed Book, man. I forgot about that. They let him live.
I don't know if you guys will remember this little detail, but do you remember the space station that they were on? I guess it's Federation headquarters. I don't fucking know. That it would
cool.
That it separated in parts, the tiers would separate, and boy, I thought that was fucking silly and great. I thought
we saw more of the super future ships, and they were cool looking. The ships look cool. I do hate that you can tell watching Discovery that every set is a green screen and the actors don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Especially with their arrival aliens and everything. Like I've noticed that on that show in season 2 when they were
of tennis ball acting.
Yeah, yeah. And then they're like, "Oh, we don't know what we're actually going to have out here, but we know that the artists are going to do a great job in post and put some jellyfish aliens in the sky or something." And they did that like at the end of season 2 in that awful finale.
Yeah, they love that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, when the fucking like fish guy planet. I don't even know what it was.
They threw a lot of like, we'll look at this background in post. It's like,
yes,
and then and nobody knows what they're reacting to or sees
it's like, guys, this is not anything. This is nothing.
Right. There's a lot of that in the arrival alien stuff.
Well, right, but that's what was good, right? Like that there was like only that then. Like the rest of this was just like, it was 3 ships. It was Book Ship, the Discovery, and Federation HQ. Like, and that was it. Like, it was just those locations for a long time, like just sort of like bouncing back and forth, like real tension in like how, you know, like this is gonna play out in these locations. They didn't do like a whole, right, like you said, like a big like, get everybody here and shoot them in space and we'll blow our budget.
And we're gonna have so many lasers
on a big
flying.
space battle. It's like,
Pew,
no.
pew, 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 pew. It wasn't a space battle. It was like,
no.
That's like, it's a low bar, but like Star Trek is not about space battles.
No, not at all. Not the slightest.
I mean, it can be, but like they're not. It's not about.
It's a bonus. It's like a little like, you know,
right, like right. And I think you got to credit the Michelle Paradise input. You got to think, but because Kurtzman doesn't know anything but pew pew, and They made it about
the J.J. Abrams school of Star Trek.
Yeah. JJ definitely, I think, unfortunately moved the needle in that direction.
Right, and Alex and Akiva don't know anything other than just like to be like the lowest common denominator shit. Like, oh, this to make it glossy and look cool. Like, pew pew. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, Picard even calls it out on in the premiere of Picard.
Oh.
When he gets onto the ship, he says, "Oh, these are much sleeker than when blah blah." And it's like, no, we know. Yeah,
that's a good transition. Do we want to talk about Picard now?
Go. Yeah, my last word on Disco is like, I believe y'all that it's an improvement. I believe y'all that there were good things, and I even believe y'all that like
it's really good. It's really good.
It was
one good episode of a bad television show.
And for me, it's not enough anymore. It's gotta like I need more than that. And like it's like you said, I am jaded by my absolute bubbling hatred for this show, and
it hurt you. It's hard to get over that.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I am glad this show exists. I'm grateful for like the genuine. Because here's the thing. It would have been so easy for this show to, you know, we said you said lowest common denominator, but to its credit, it in some ways actively avoids that. Like again, like the fact that like there are multiple like gender non-conforming characters, that there are multiple like.
That's just virtue signaling, and I love the representation. Don't get me wrong, I love it.
But
I'm glad. It's a good thing that it does. But
yeah, of course. And what I'm trying to say is like it probably would be much easier for this show if they didn't also fight for those kinds of things. So like, you know, look, it's I harp on it in a positive way, but like it is a good thing. So I'm glad it exists. God, I hate the show itself though. It's gotta be way better for me to like really change my opinion of it. And I'll watch it when it comes back, because like you said, I've committed.
I gotta tell you, I think like based on this, I don't think this show's gonna do anything that you're gonna like. Because like, and I could certainly be wrong. They could do something next season that's like different and good and bad. But like, I think like this episode,
you wanted
like
to do
as good as like this show in like this form can be.
Yeah, it's look, and maybe there's hope for it. I don't know. We'll see how next.
You want it to be the Star Trek that you've watched and loved,
right?
Well, of course, absolutely. But I also accept that like, nothing's gonna really recapture that because that's just not the way that they make TV shows anymore. And
right. Well, we'll see. Maybe this Strange New World show they claim to be that's what they're going to do. But
color me skeptical.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, we can talk. Maybe we'll talk about that. Let's talk about Picard
recap
first.
of like the state of upcoming Trek. But yeah, Picard.
Yeah.
Can't wait, Picardly, wait. I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Picardly, wait.
What a good song. God, I rule.
We have an entire fucking album of you and me singing that fucking song over and over again.
I can't wait.
Yep. I have it on my phone. I uploaded it to Apple, not to like Apple Music, like the service, just to my
your iTunes.
Yeah, right. But like it's formatted like as an album called "It's Can't Picardly Wait" the album, and again, it is just either Sean singing or me singing the exact same.
Damn right.
Wouldn't change the goddamn thing.
Nope.
I would change a few things about Picard.
Oh well, yeah. Well, please tell us. Please elaborate.
All of it.
I don't know. I just don't like the show very much.
Which I get it.
People say it's better than season 1. I don't know that it is. It's like doing different things. It's just like honking on Voyage Home and all this other. It's not doing anything new.
It's honking on a lot of prior Trek stuff, and I still I argue that the biggest thing it's really cribbing from is House of M, the Marvel crossover.
I don't know the House of M. I stopped reading comics.
We're not. We don't
have to. But like for those that know, tell me if you disagree. But it's it's fine.
That's the one where Scarlet Witch killed everybody or something.
That's where No More Mutants. That's
from. Okay.
But
let's not talk about that.
I was about to say I'll tell you off pod. Picard this season, I think it is better than season 1, and I think a big reason for that is that the characters are a little more like differentiated. Like in season 1, like kind of everyone was like dour and upset about something, and like there wasn't really any like distinction with them. The closest came to like the moments like when Elnor they let Elnor be like just this dumbass who didn't know anything other than
like goofy, naive, innocent,
right, like a naive like merciless assassin.
Yeah, my problem with sorry, Sean, you maybe have only watched the premiere, but I'm going to talk about the
premiere of Picard. No, go on. I shouldn't hold you back. Yeah.
My problem with the show now is like they gave each character a game, if you're going to be in like improv terms of it, and then but they're all kind of lame. It's like, okay, Raffi is a mom who's too attached, but all she is like crying over Elnor, who is nothing and dies in the second episode or whenever. Spoilers, Sean. Killed unceremoniously just so that Raffi can be upset about it. But like, what does she care? She's got her own kids, but no, she's a mom. Right, we decided she's a mom. So she's upset. She's the only, and everybody's story, everybody's game is compartmentalized into their own little subplot that doesn't really interact with anything else. Like, Seven and Raffi are the least believable fucking couple in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, but that was foisted on us. Like, that was foisted in like a ending, like, set piece
it was like
image.
It was like the equivalent of like a Marvel post-credit scene, only it was them holding hands.
Yeah, they show us like some tableau of them holding hands and they're a couple, and we're supposed to applaud because like we love I love lesbians, but I don't give a shit about that they're lesbians because they have no chemistry. They have no story. I didn't see them falling in love. I don't give a fuck about them.
Right.
And they have no chemistry whatsoever. So 7 doesn't have anything to really settle into other than she's not a Borg anymore, but she's left with nothing. Raffi's a mom who's upset about Elnor dying. Nobody else gives a fuck about Elnor dying, but Raffi is so wrapped up and pissed off about it because
including
everybody's
Picard, who like has known him for almost his entire life.
Yeah, it's like it's because he's only horny for his housekeeper who had a husband
who died off screen.
Died off screen in the middle of the season, but like some producer thought she's hot. This is a good love interest, and Patrick Stewart said yes, she's very attractive. She's 20 years older than my
he was definitely into that
than my actual wife, but in IRL, but whatever. Oh, sorry. And so he's about it, but like there's no reason that she's like, oh yeah, my husband died off screen, but I'm an alien and it's convenient I'm an alien because I can just make shit up because I'm an alien. And in my species, when our husbands die, we get really horny for our employer. And then Picard is like, hubba hubba, but maybe I've spent too much of my life never fucking and not being in relationship, not to even, but because we will never mention Beverly Crusher, who at the end of the last movie he was getting married to, but they forget they don't mention her at all.
Wait, what?
Though
is that right? Do they?
Yeah, at the end of Nemesis, at the end of Nemesis, they're like fucking getting married or something. Like,
why? Because
that was just dumb.
Yeah, nerds. We know.
For the record, I'm not a Crusher Picard shipper. I don't think they should have ever gotten together, but the fans wanted it, and then at the end of the movies, they're like a couple, basically. And then in all good things, the finale, right? And then in the finale, like they've been married and split up, I think, and she's the captain of a medical vessel when he's having the time jump stuff. In the finale of
but that ends up getting like retconned, right? Like, or not retconned, but
right. So
it's out in the timeline.
Right. But I think at the end of Nemesis they're together or something. But this show can't mention it for some reason.
The only thing they'll mention from Nemesis is Data dying.
Right. And lore, not lore, B4. They don't mention lore because for some reason. Anyways.
They will mention every conceivable ancestor of Noonien Soong except for the like arguably most significant creation he did besides Data.
Right. And I hate that every Soong is this genius scientist. If they wanted to make that interesting, they'd make him like a fuck up like junkie or something. Like who's
I don't know, just like a car salesman or something.
Right. That's neither here nor there. But everybody's got their game, and the I'm horny for my housekeeper thing is dumb and awful and just whatever. Raffi's a mom who's upset about thing. Rios is an immigrant, so he has to go tumble with ice and
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then they save him, and then that's seemingly done. And
so what?
None of their stories interact
going
with each
on
other.
At the end of what's happening?
So as of last week, there's not really the main thing is that Q.
5 episodes in, they introduce the linchpin characters that everything revolves around.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like Picard's great aunt or something has to go to space, and Q doesn't want her to, or for some reason.
Yeah, well, Q is like, well, I think I was texting, I think I was talking in the Discord about this. Like, there's an interesting idea that, like, you know, what happens to Q, because they're very clearly telegraphing that, like, something is wrong with him beyond the normal, like, you know, general shitty attitude, but like something is wrong with like his powers and his like mental state. It's
so they're in the past.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, then they traveled to 2024. And
right, I guess you wouldn't have seen that in the
same year as the Bell riots.
Glenn, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking what's going on.
I forgot.
They time travel
I forgot that they didn't time travel in the premiere. I forgot that was
at the very end. They
go to a mirror universe. It's not a mirror universe. It's a alternate time. They re-Kelvined it or something. I don't know what they did. Q did a thing, snapped the fingers, and they go to a mirror universe. Except that it's not the mirror universe because it's technically a little bit cooler than what Disco did with the mirror universe. It's
low bar,
but it's still.
It's, right. At the end of the first episode, Q tells him that he's on trial. That's
right. Yeah, they man in the High Castle.
Yes.
The Federation.
It's Man in the High Castle,
which is also
House of M. And like they're basically like Picard's great aunt is they discover by talking to a recast version of Whoopi Goldberg's character Guinan.
That was bad too.
Yeah,
I mean, she's fine, but they got Whoopi in the first episode, but I think either Whoopi said no or Whoopi said you're not going to de-age me, and then they said we're just going to get another actor to be young.
Which Sean, for reference, I mean, obviously this is not like a reason to not do it in and of itself, but it is, for fucking nerds like me, infuriating that like in the timeline of Star Trek, Picard I forget who meets Guinan when she's hanging out.
They went back. Yes, the Picard went back then. Yeah, and she doesn't remember Picard from when, but she's met Picard at this point. But the show is again, it seems like classic Kurtzman is like, well, I don't know that people watch that, and we don't want to confuse people by referencing that, so we're not going to reference that.
By referencing
not referencing that just
this fucking show.
Just pisses everybody off because they're just ripping their hair out and said she should know him and whatever. But then we don't want to alienate the new viewers. But the new viewers that haven't watched that shit, Sean, I think you can attest, are like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know enough about this.
Picard is it's completely impenetrable if you haven't watched. It feels like every piece of Star Trek.
Right, and that's what that's what my partner hates about watching it. She likes Discovery, but she hates Picard. She's like, she didn't watch TNG. And she's like, I don't know what the fuck. And it's like, it's kind of maddening because on the one hand, you have to know all that stuff. But then on the other hand, if you know all that stuff, you're seeing all the gaps that they're just like kind of pissing you off, like not talking about.
Right. If you're going to make a show like for the super fans that references all the things, then you've got to get your shit right.
Yep, exactly. Like, you gotta do it right. Like, if you're gonna make it up its own asshole with references, do the fucking homework, do the fucking work. Like,
right, people are gonna check.
Exactly, and if anyone on this fucking staff didn't think that immediately they would be bombarded with physical letters saying, "Excuse me, Guinan was actually present around Picard in the 1880s and whatever the fuck it was." And so it's strange choices, which I'm sure COVID plays into it as well. But
the track, he's so old. He's sitting in every scene. If you're gonna make a show where Picard can't do anything, which is fine, do the old man Picard sitting at his estate. But no wonder he wants to be done in season 3.
It's crazy that they're having everybody him go on adventures.
Everybody else has to run and jump around, but he's like, it's like, don't make the man do this, and they're not. Like, he's mostly sitting and talking to people, which is what the show should be. But they gotta zhuzh it up so much with all these other shenanigans. Just do Murder, She Wrote with Picard.
Oh, I'd fucking love that.
That would be amazing. Yeah. That would be incredible. And
that's what Michael Chabon said, in his dream world that he wanted to do, which is him sitting at his estate solving like provincial murder mysteries and stuff.
That'd be fucking incredible. And
that's and he said that, and he's like, but of course you can't do that with this kind of show. And then everybody's like, no, that's what we want. But
that's the thing. It's this is what we're doing.
The producers like Kurtzman and Akiva, who's the showrunner on this show, I think is Akiva.
I think that's right.
No, I take that back. No, that's not right. Oh. He's a head writer. No, Akiva's the showrunner on Strange New Worlds. The showrunner, they got a new showrunner this season. They got rid of Shaban because, for whatever reason, Shaban wants to go do Cavalier and Clay show with his wife and Akiva. But the showrunner now is actually like a old school TNG era Trek writer is the showrunner, and he showran the 12 Monkeys show on FX. I didn't watch, but
okay, interesting.
from what I gather, he worked in the Berman era, so he knows his stuff. But he's just he's playing the game like.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like we were talking about.
There's a certain slickness to the show. It works enough, but like they do this fucking time jump everything 36 hours earlier. Like
I hated that. I hated that.
Just tell, and they did it a few times with this last episode I watched where he got shot or
no, he gets hit with a car.
He gets hit with a car. I was like, and I mean, this is the same thing I hated about Westworld. Just tell if you can't tell a straight story, then there's your problem. Like, they have to, like, the show would have been better if they didn't do that 36 hours earlier thing but they had to get an action scene with pew, boo, boo, with the sirens going off when the board trip happened.
You don't.
Yeah, if you can't tell a story without doing that shit, then it's not worth telling. Well, I don't think.
And so, like, it's what you said where they mentioned that, like, oh, well, that's the show we wanted to make, but, like, that's just not how these shows are made. And, like...
Well, it's like, you can make the show, you can make any show you want.
Exactly. And, like, I think people would, it would probably be, honestly, it'd probably be more fun for Patrick Stewart and, like, a better use of his talents.
Yeah, and that's just not giving people credit. People want new shit, but like the way Hollywood works is like, that's risky. They might not want the new shit that we come up with. So let's go with established shit that we know. And that is Akiva Goldsman and Alex Kurtzman's bread and butter. So, I mean, whatever. I have a bone to pick with those guys, apparently.
You ever hear? Do you know the show Pie in the Sky?
I do not.
It's an older British show that's about a retired detective who opens a pie shop, but then they gotta keep coming to him because they've got these cases. He's like such a good detective, so they've got to come to his pie shop and get him to help them solve cases. Like,
that sounds delightful.
It's delightful, and it's the perfect template for Picard.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. And, like, again, it'd be easier on Patrick Stewart. It would, I think, give him more to do acting-wise than, like, kind of the rote, he's got to do... Which, by the way, side note, in terms of just, like, canon bullshit... The whole thing of him being in robot body, the fact that they didn't use this Q nonsense just to be like, fine, you don't have a robot body anymore. That's fixed. That's done. So now they have to kind of like work around it.
Yeah, you almost feel like some people wanted to do that, but then like I feel like somebody's like, no, we can't do that. We committed to it. Our bosses were really excited about it.
What are the stakes of the robot body? What effect?
Nothing. They're exactly the same. They're
right. They've made it
other than he.
Right. He doesn't have his brain.
They go to a doctor. They go to a doctor who is like, "What is going on?" Because they give him a. They shock him in the
defibrillate him
2024, and it breaks the defibrillator.
Right.
And the doctor's like, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "Oh, wink, I don't know, guys." And then they wink at it. We can't tell her he's got a robot body, but that's what it was. And it's like,
sure,
yeah. But
stupid.
But he's got a robot body, but you can't.
They have a robot body because of Gul Dukat.
What? Oh, because they showed Gul Dukat's skull.
And then Q says
he gets shot in the head.
And Q says he's the reason that you have a robot body in this reality.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's
Gul Dukat.
I think it was because you see. I think it's Martok. You see Martok's skull, Dukat.
You see a Ferengi skull,
which is probably Quark or Rom.
Probably, but because you learn that Ferengi skulls have bones in the skull. It's not all cartilage.
Right. That is surprising.
The Nerd Corner explanation. Okay, that is because I did have a question in this.
It does raise a question about the ear thing.
Well, no, my question was like, oh, if they did the timeline bullshit, then how come he still has a robot body? But in this reality, it's because of Gul Dukat for some reason.
Q specifically says that I'm pretty sure it's because of Gul Dukat when they like see his skull. I feel like Sarek's skull is there. Like every one of the skulls is like a either like notable or in many cases a popular character that they make.
Right.
Did you catch the General Cisco reference?
I did. I did.
Wait, I'm curious if you... I can't remember if I texted you about this, but did you also strongly suspect that there was a version of the script where, like, Seven's Nazi first husband was Chakotay?
No, but that would have been interesting.
I probably not. If there is, it probably wasn't the exact same arc where, like, she just, doesn't... confide in him or really ask him anything about himself.
I mean, that would have been more interesting, and right? What's his name would have been more than willing to come on. He was on that Prodigy. He's on Prodigy, but Richard Beltran, right?
Robert,
yeah.
But that
Richard Picardo.
Richard, but imagine if Seven wakes up and she's married to Chakotay and ends up like having to kill him because he doesn't that would have been something. That would have given her something to do. Like she's doing the Jerry Ryan's doing the work, but they're not giving her anything to do.
Not what they're not getting anything to do. There's no chemistry between her and Raffi.
Which tell me this: it's how fucking insane is it that there is a storyline of a female character being manipulated and fucked with by a Borg queen, and that character is not 7 of 9.
Right. It's don't get me. I haven't even talked about her, which is the actor's doing a fine enough job.
I think they've given her like a better, like, it is vastly improved from season 1. And
she started off. She was well adjusted at the beginning, but then they tell her you have nobody. You're going to be alone forever. Even though show is all about her finding a family of that's what Star Trek's about. It's like found family and friends and stuff, whatever. But then they're like, you're going to be alone forever, and she's like, you're right. Even though I have these people here, whatever.
She has a digital cat voiced by Patton Oswalt.
Oh yeah.
That's true, Sean.
I don't even know what to do with that information.
She still likes to drink. She's a little bit of a drunk. She loves cats, but she's not like a cutter like she was in season 1.
That's good. Like she is like a lot more quirky, which I think is the kind of broad strokes kind of thing that they should be doing more of. It's like,
hey, Glenn, we don't call them broads anymore. All right.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you holding me accountable.
I'm gonna keep you honest, Glenn. I'm gonna keep you honest.
That's what a true friend does.
Goddamn right.
But yeah, it's and look, I know we're getting close.
I'm astounded that I think Disco is a better show right now than Picard is.
I don't know if I agree with that. Of course, I don't agree with it, but Picard is not really impressing me.
Because Disco found some consistency in this last season, and Picard is still a mess. It's like all over the place. It is not. None of the pieces fit together. They've waited 5 episodes to introduce that the main linchpin to the future not going to the Federation is a thing that happened before the Third World War. Before the Bell Riots, which they mention sanctuary cities, but they don't mention the Bell Riots. The fact is that, I mean, if you're going to get into the lore and everything, it's like Zephyr Cochrane develops the warp drive, and the Klingon and the Vulcans are what kind of turn everything around.
That is 1,000% the turning point of human history is when he does that. They have very clearly,
and it's the whole point is that people, and even if you do take that aside. The thing that it's like we learned from the Third World War that we can't live that we have to change, basically. But this postulates maybe there's some relative of Picard that saves the world before we thought the world was humanity changed, but she has to do something on a Europa mission. She's more important than anything else we knew. It's all about making the stakes bigger for Picard. Like, he could just be a great admiral, but no, he's the savior. His line is the savior of the universe, Federation.
I also don't like that they're introducing a storyline with his mom that, like, very clearly is going to end with her, getting fridged or close to fridged in some capacity, because that's, like, the only way his mother is meaningful to his life, like, is if something horrible.
Right. Well, they're gonna end it with his aunt becoming the Borg Queen from that first episode that he meets.
Is she the one that said look up to him?
No, his mom saying I don't. Yeah.
His mom said it in the when he was a kid, and the Borg Queen says it before she kills him in the first episode.
Well, I don't think she kills him, so I think it's either Jurati.
Yeah, Glenn, I know she doesn't fucking kill him. Well, Sean, he's alive.
Sean,
but
there's no need to yell.
Yeah. The insistence that the Picards are the most important thing when we already have all this established lore, which, and the fact that I have to argue about the lore of it is annoying in itself, but like...
I know, we have established data too.
Yeah. We haven't established lore yet.
I made a Star Trek joke, guys.
Sean, I really liked it.
You know what?
Yeah,
I sign off.
Good job swinging at things you know nothing about, but you landed that one.
Hey, he knew enough to make that joke. I'm impressed.
Eventually,
you swing enough, you hit some, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You don't swing. You can't hit any if you don't swing.
It's a very close second to your very well constructed Wheel of Time Jeff Foxworthy joke, where you describe Jeff Foxworthy with a superfluous apostrophe.
Oh, Foxworthy. Yeah,
Jeff Foxworthy. Great, fantastic, with a minimum amount of information. That's the kind of professionalism we come to Sean Parada for.
That's what I do, baby. I was falling asleep a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, I think that's probably people. I think we've talked enough. People got a gist of how we feel about these shows.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could rant
Animated
more about
shows
it.
are great. Watch them.
Prodigy. Oh yeah, Prodigy finished since the last time we talked. I've seen people like Prodigy. It's a show for kids, but you know what? It's doing what it's doing.
Yeah.
This is all I don't care if it's doing the old Trek. I don't need you to do Trek the same way that I want episodic TV or whatever. Because Prodigy is doing it well for kids. It's a kids show, but it's telling the story it wants to tell, constructed well, with characters that that some of them might be annoying, but it's a kid show, whatever.
I mean, again, like you said, it's for kids.
But they have a history that they're coming. Yeah, it's well crafted,
completely
in a way that Picard is just like a mess, and Discovery's been a mess where it's finding its feet, but it's a little bit too cringe sometimes with, fucking Stacey Abrams, man.
What?
I'm just laughing again at that fucking Stacey Abrams cameo. Anyway,
I'm laughing at the show's Anthony fucking Fauci being on Star Trek.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that I laughed again. I have to say how much that's the most joy I've gotten watching Star Trek in a long time. Just laughing at that show at the end of it. But
I do think I can top. I do think I can top Dr. Fauci being on Star Trek. And it's one that's going to hurt me a little bit because I like the guy a lot. Lin-Manuel Miranda. If he showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
That'd be rough.
That's the thing. That's the Stacey Abrams cameo was like they did something like that, and they
well, right. At least Lynn acts, you know, like
right. Yeah.
He at least is that right. He's just he's such a fucking guy of the moment, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd expect them to get
Bruno?
But
we don't talk about Bruno.
Exactly.
All right.
Oh, sorry, Wade. I stepped on you.
No, that's okay. No, they could have gotten N.K. Jemisin or some other sci-fi beloved person, and that'd have been like a little. That was like all right, but that would have been fine. But like Stacey Abrams made me laugh so much.
It's so funny.
It was so funny. But so I mean, Picard's kind of craft-wise. Picard feels like a mess of everything conflating and running into each other, and then not knowing what they're doing, and making it too complicated. And they got too many characters that have their own things that don't interact with each other. Yeah, it's a mess.
Poor Patrick Stewart. He deserves better.
He does.
Well,
next season,
yep.
they're bringing, for all the complaints I had, like what happened to Dr. Crusher, who has never been mentioned once in Picard. They're bringing all the cast back.
Yeah, the whole gang.
Yeah.
And it's we'll see. I am kind of curious, what's Geordi been up to this entire time?
Yeah. Like I said on the Discord, I'm afraid they're going to bring Michael Dorn back, not as Worf, but like as Barry.
Right. Barry. What the hell? Kurlenko, or not Kurlenko? What the hell is his parents' names?
Krishenko.
Krishenko, something like that. If not exactly.
Yeah. Roshenko. Yeah.
Roshenko. That's it. It's like, well, shit. I guess we'll also check in with whatever Alexander's been up to.
Right. Well, probably not.
Wait. Did Alexander?
They won't mention Alexander because Alex Kurtzman will be afraid that the people might not have watched the episodes with Alexander, so they can't reference that. They don't want to talk about it. But they will. I mean, if they bring in Worf, it'll be because they'll have to say what Klingons look like. That'll be the big question. Do we bring him in new Klingon makeup, or do we have him in classic Worf makeup? I mean, they'll probably do.
I think they can't not do him in the classic makeup, but then I would have said they can't.
I don't know. I know. I think they might. That's why I'm afraid they're gonna cop out and just make it a relative of Worf from Minsk, his adopted brother's cousin. It's gonna be his human cousin Barry Roshenko from Minsk.
Worf,
and not because they don't want to do the makeup. Yeah.
No. Shit. Okay, Back to the Future. Calls Worf on the phone. Worf, it's me, Marvin. Marvin, son of Mo, your cousin. That's all I got. I got nothing else.
Right. No.
I like Marvin, son of Moog.
Right. No, the Barry because never mind. Because the Stacey Abrams things made me think they'd want to name him after Barack Obama because it's the most cringe thing they could do.
Yikes!
Right. I know. I'm sorry.
It's
sorry.
Okay. Well, I think we've done enough. We've put these people through.
Strange New Worlds.
Oh yeah.
Looks like it. That trailer looks interesting. Oh. But they gave Spock a first name.
Fuck that! Man. Yeah, miss me with that shit. Like, come on.
And then they also cast a Kirk for season 2 of Strange New Worlds, which goes to my theory that I forgot. This is the one thing I want to talk about. That the secret cabal behind all of new Star Trek. This is a little bit tinfoil hat, but hear me out. This is my conspiracy theory. It's all Vampire Diaries.
Oh, right.
It's the secret cabal behind all of New Trek.
It's pretty compelling if you ask me.
Michelle Paradise, showrunner for Discovery, came from Vampire Diaries. The new Borg Queen was on Vampire Diaries.
Oh my God.
Picard's most special great aunt, actor from Vampire Diaries.
What?
Yeah. The new Captain Kirk they cast was one of the leads from the Vampire Diaries. And I don't know how deep it goes. Like, that's all I got from this. I didn't look this shit up. Well, Joni looked up, like, where do I know that actor? She watched Vampire Diaries, and there's a casting agent or somebody, or Michelle Paradise is like, I got friends, you should hire them from my stint on the Vampire Diaries, because I don't know how deep it goes. I'm Charlie Day with the map full of pins.
Pepe Silva.
Yeah. I don't know how deep it goes, but I think the secret cabal that is controlling new Star Trek is a bunch of vampires.
Well,
I don't know how.
This is hugely exciting.
Yeah.
You've stumbled onto something huge here.
I think.
Yeah, right?
I think an argument could be made. It's a extremely complicated welfare program for alums of the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, it's vampires.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's what a wicked web we weave. They've been around. They know how to play these games.
I think they'd be able to.
Yeah, they've been around a long time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. It's vampires, dude.
All right, wrap it up. I gotta go to bed.
All right, I just had to get that out there. And yeah.
Oh, I liked it.
Strange New Worlds could be interesting, but I don't trust showrunner Akiva Goldsman.
Yeah, I don't either.
To pull it off.
Well, when you want to pod about it, I'll watch one or two.
Right. I'm afraid that Ensign Mount said "fuck this" after season 1, and that's why they're bringing in a new Kirk. But we'll see.
That would be a genuine shame because I feel like he's the kind of guy that could really, make this show stick, because it sure as shit ain't gonna be whatever the Ethan.
We'll know if Ethan Peck is gone at the end of season 1. We know there'll be enough NDAs that we'll never know the full story. But if he leaves after season 1, there's some fucking shenanigans going on. There was shenanigans at Discovery season 1 where people were like, Akiva Goldsman is abusive and screaming at us. And it's a problem. They had to get him off the show.
Jeez.
So, I mean, but he's so fucking entrenched in everything that, he came back.
Jeez.
So, if Anson Mount is gone and they got a vampire Kirk in season 2 without Anson Mount, you know how foobarred everything is behind the scenes, even though it will never come to light, probably. Because those vampires know how to shut shit down.
Oh, boy.
A solid theory, Wade. A solid theory.
All right, you got to go to work tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, I got to go to work tomorrow.
Let's wrap this shit up.
I got no plugs.
Yeah. I don't either. We got the Kickers of Elves, formerly Rules of Acquisition, doesn't update all that much. We still put things out every now and then, but the Patreon at Kickers of Elves at patreon.com/Kickers of Elves updates pretty much every week. So if you're starving for Wade, James, and Hugh and over there, check
if you're
out the
a
Patreon.
vampire and you're hungry for their blood, then how much? Wade, what's the Patreon tier where they get to suck your blood?
Well, there's a $1,000 a month for jerk off her ears.
Yeah,
okay.
I remember the ear one.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hey, by the way, Patreon people, if you want to hear more Heel of Time or other one shots that Sean and I have made,
yeah. I think I put that out on the.
I think it's on the main feed. I think that one's on the main one. Yeah. I mean,
if you like that stuff, tell us, and I'll throw some more shit out there for the people to consume if you want.
And so that's and that segues us neatly into hour 2, where we'll spend probably about 90 minutes on the back half of the Wheel of Time.
Hey Sean, let's just step over here. Let him keep talking.
Okay. So go on. The thing I really kind of struggle with is kind of similar to what we're talking about. Is this show doesn't really seem to trust its audience, and also, god damn it, I just cannot believe the fucking choices that they've made with goddamn Perrin Ibarra. And frankly,
people like that Wheel of Time show. God, it might be. Oh shit! You brought me in. I can't do this. I gotta go.
I can't resist it.
I fucking knew it. All right. Merry Christmas. I'll stop talking about it. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Self-destruct sequence beta cuck. Fuck.
Ooh, changing it up a little bit.